Hey, and welcome back to another Majin at the Movies, where I watch the movies so you don't have to. Because they're usually pretty bad. Which leads us to today's film Dinner for Schmucks, starring lead men Paul Rudd and Steve Carell. Usually pretty funny men, but even they couldn't stop this sinking ship. From the plot to the side characters to even the attempts at humor makes Dinner for Schmucks' hour-and-a-half runtime feel like Ben Stein trying to read the Avengers Endgame script. So if you're ready, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's get started. The plot is pretty straightforward, so I don't think we have to really spend too much time on this section of the video. Tim, who is played by Paul Rudd, is just your typical businessman who doesn't think his life is where it needs to be, even though he drives a 2005 Porsche. There, I said it right for all you gearheads out there. His main problem is that his girlfriend Julie won't accept his proposal, and that's like his big dilemma, so he thinks he needs to like make more money and things like that. And then once his assistant tells him that there's an opening on the floor above him, Tim instantly tries to go for it. Ultimately humiliating himself, but also intriguing the CEO of the company, Tim finds out that there's a special dinner that the higher-ups host each month, where you have to bring a unique person, aka a goofy goober, in order to make fun of them. Whoever brings the best goofy goober wins. Tim later on meets Barry as he almost kills him because Barry is trying to grab a dead rodent out of the road, and after talking to Barry for a little bit, Tim realizes that he is his golden ticket. Did I mention that Barry is played by Steve Carell? Upon researching and writing the script for this video, I actually found out that Dinner for Schmucks is a parody film, like a remake of a 1998 French film, and I'm totally gonna botch this, so I'm sorry, France. I love your fries. Le Dîner de Cons? Le Diner de Cons? Which I found pretty interesting. It's nice to go back and watch silly man Paul Rudd. Tim is just really a simple man. He's just like a businessman or like a...
The stockbroker?
No. I work for a private equity firm that specializes in distressed assets.
So kind of a stockbroker.
Almost nothing like a stockbroker.
Do you mind if I just call you stockbroker? It's the way I remember people. You're stockbroker Tim. Hey.
He has some character development with like internal battles of wanting the promotion without belittling people, doing right and wrong, you know, just trying to be the best person that he can be. He's dating the woman of his dreams, hoping to make it more, and he just wants more in life. Like, he's not happy with his good paying job and his 2005 Porsche. You truly hate to love Barry, played by Steve Carell. Throughout the entire movie, he is just a
tornado of destruction.
But it's always with the purest of intent. Yeah, he invited a stalker to your home, but he thought she was just a concerned friend. He messed up the brunch, then he brought the same stalker to brunch. Okay, yeah, Barry's a train wreck. But he really does love Tim with all of his heart and just wants what's best for Tim. You especially feel bad for Barry after finding out his little bit of backstory that they give him, and it really does break my heart, but he's just an idiot. So Julie is Tim's fiance, and honestly, there's not much more to say about her. She kind of sucks. Throughout the entire movie, I was just hoping that she was like cheating and Tim would find out so Tim would leave her. I mean, like, she wants him to get a promotion and do better in life and do all these things, but then when she finds out how he can get a promotion and give her a better life so that way she can accept his proposal after she's denied it a million times, she gets mad at him for it. So like, I understand it, but I don't. Julie sucks. She doesn't really do much in the film other than like hang around and just provide conflict when it's needed. Like, there's a little side plot that we're gonna get to later between her boss and her and Tim, and then Tim, her, and Barry. But other than that, she's kind of just like there to be a rude lady to Tim. Kieran is just the absolute worst. I imagine he smells like lemongrass and various human fluids. He's an artist that Julie curates for.
But that's not all she curated.
And everything that comes out of his mouth is just complete and utter
Poppycock.
I have to say that they did cast him super well, though. I'm not a fan of the actor that plays Kieran, but at the same time, he does sell the artistic type that just talks about nonsense to try to make himself sound smart and deep, and for that, I respect it.
Do you have any idea what it's like, Tim, to be up to your elbow in a zebra's vagina and feel life, new life, fresh life?
What seems midway through the movie, but's really 20 minutes into the film, we're introduced to Zach Galifianakis' character, Thurman, Barry's boss at the tax place. Thurman has the power of mind control, in which he'll sell you how-tos Gary Vee style.
I've studied the human mind. I've learned how to read it and ultimately control it.
This is fascinating. I can't wait to read it.
It's $14.99 on my website,
Okay.
plus shipping and handling.
Even if I buy it here?
It shipped from somewhere else, didn't it? And I've been handling it.
He's ultimately the villain in Barry's story, but we're going to get to that more in the side plot because it's the best thing about this movie. Zach Galifianakis doesn't really bring his best performance here. I don't know if it's his one-trick ponyisms or just the script itself, but more or less I found him annoying than comedic relief throughout the film. Darla is a woman that Tim hooked up with drunkenly a couple years prior to meeting Julie, and she is just a psychopath with a capital P for pussy. And it shows with her being an ex-female pro wrestler or hitman or something. Circus act? I don't know. She's a psycho. So there's a bunch of different side plots, but they all kind of just mesh in together to two of them, so we're just going to talk about those two. Tim and Julie's side plot is just a constant shit show, and it's all thanks to Barry. Tim wants to marry Julie, but she has denied his proposal multiple times.
Marry me.
I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. But remember when you asked me before and I said this is a big step and maybe we should just wait a little bit.
Yeah?
That was 2 days ago.
I know.
Due to them not being where she wants them to be in life, which is pretty understandable. Once Tim takes initiative at the meeting and then finds out about the dinner, he immediately runs home to tell Julie, and she's like, "How could you do this? It's not right. You obviously told them no, right?" They get into a huge fight, and Julie ends up leaving, in which Barry comes over because he thinks the dinner is that night. Barry then totally invades Tim's private messages and goes through his computer and sees that somebody is messaging him trying to get in contact with him. Barry thinks that she's a concerned friend, so he tells her to come over. Tim finds this out and he's like, "What is wrong with you? This lady is a stalker. She is crazy. If she can't come here and you gave her my address, what is wrong with you?" So Barry's like, "Don't you worry. I can fix this." So Barry quickly runs downstairs into the lobby, in which he does some investigating of his own. Barry, thinking that Julie is Darla, runs up to her before she can get into the apartment. This in turn makes Julie find out that Tim is still going to the dinner and that Barry is the schmuck that Tim is bringing to this dinner. So Tim and Julie get into a huge fight about this, but it's not until this double dinner that Tim and Julie are supposed to be having with this Swiss business couple that Barry really screws the pooch. So because of this big fight, they were unsure if Julie was actually going to show up to this lunch or not with a Swiss businessman. So Barry decides to invite Darla. Great idea, Barry. Let's bring this psychopath.
Julie.
Excuse me. They get talking. It's like going pretty well so far. I guess Darla's fitting the part and they're none the wiser. Until Barry brings up how Tim has tried asking Julie to marry him, and she keeps saying no, in which Darla goes, "Ask me now," tricking Tim into, getting down and proposing to her. At this point, Julie walks into the restaurant because she was still coming to the brunch, even though her and Tim haven't talked. Julie, in a fit of rage, decides to go see Dirty Jesus Kieran. It's at this point in the film that Barry makes Tim question the relationship that Kieran and Julie have. They go to spy on Kieran and Julie at Kieran's apartment, but Julie's not there. It's only just Kieran getting freaky with his Peacock subscription. Kieran then tells Tim that Julie's not there. He doesn't know where she is, but Julie's not right for Tim and Tim's not right for Julie. Julie is wild. She needs to go out there and be a wild lioness. And Tim is like a little gazelle or something. I think that's the little thing that they... It's just metaphor that they used. So Tim questions this even more. It basically is just a huge conflict, a fight of, are you cheating, Tim, or are you cheating, Darla? Tim, why are you going to this dinner? Not Darla. Okay. On some for real shit, drop those guards. This side plot and storyline breaks my fucking heart. I know I've been hating on this movie a whole bunch, but nobody deserves to go through what Barry went through. This storyline and the dinner alone kind of just make the whole movie, but as I mentioned above, Thurman is Barry's boss at the tax service place. Throughout the film, you can actually see that Barry is terrified of Thurman. He doesn't like interacting with him whatsoever. And it's rightfully so, seeing how Thurman treats Barry the first time we see them like kind of interact.
Watch this. Barry.
What is he doing? He's making me do something. What is he making me do?
You're not doing anything, Barry.
That's right, Barry. You're not doing anything.
I'm not doing anything. I'm paralyzed. Oh, God.
God can't hear you, Barry.
Tim.
Tim can't hear you, Barry.
No, actually, I can hear him.
Oh, my body's a prison. Oh.
He's just a straight dickhead and bully to Barry. After their first meeting, Thurman tries to get Barry to utter the phrase, "You can eat my pudding," and Barry sits there refusing. It draws a very, very intense moment because you're like, why does it matter if he eats your pudding? When he worked there, did he always eat your pudding cup and you didn't want him to or something? Like, what's going on with that? This phrase is constantly being brought up throughout the film, and you don't know why that is until Barry overhears Tim talking shit behind Barry's back.
But he is a tornado of destruction. The only friends he has are dead mice, and that's because they're the only ones that can't get away from him.
You know what else mice can't do? They can't lie. I never really knew what Martha thought of me until I heard her talking behind my back. You were lying to me the whole time. You didn't like me. How do I get ahead in business? How do I get ahead? Oh, I know. I'll find a great taxidermist and I'll hit him with my car. And then I'll invite him to dinner. That'll do it. Somebody forgot to tell you that there is no me in mean.
This subplot literally carries this movie for me. Granted, I hate both characters and still hate Thurman, but my heart fucking kills for Barry. You have no idea. No one should ever have to feel that way or go through that. Alright, so we're here. We're at the dinner for Schmucks. At this point in the film, shit is completely fucked. Tim and Julie are on the verge of no longer being together. Barry and Tim are no longer friends, and I use that loosely because you can see their friendship start to form throughout the film, but still, Tim was only in it for his own selfish gains. Tim is still going to the dinner without Barry in hopes to woo people with just Tim's awesomeness.
I had no idea.
When Tim shows up to the dinner, he's greeted by Mueller and the Swiss Army guy. I don't remember his name. And that they tell him that they cannot believe that his guy is this good and that they are completely blown away and amazed by Barry's talents. With Swiss guy even saying,
You should have told me Barry was your fool.
We have the same game in Switzerland.
Dinner for Unterschlagen.
I am very much looking forward to seeing the two of you this evening, Mr. Conrad.
Tim is amazed that Barry still came through for him, and honestly, I was surprised too. Like, this was a twist of twist. But it isn't until you get that double twitty tister. So Tim is amazed that Barry still came through to the dinner, even though they were fighting. Like, I honestly was blown away with that. It was a little bit of a twist. But the double titty twister was that Thurman was invited to the party as well. This is when we find out what the pudding phrase actually means.
And the brain will obey your every command. Allow me to demonstrate. Barry, Barry. Look into my eyes, Barry. Barry. Where is your wife, Barry? Tell us. Where is she? Come on, Barry, tell us.
Your house?
Sorry, let me just get this straight, Barry. Your wife left you for him? She has extraordinary taste in men.
And tell us, Barry, why did your wife leave you? Spit it out of your mouth.
No.
Say it.
No.
Say it, boy.
I lost her clitoris.
That's right.
You lost her clitoris?
She got mad because I couldn't find it.
Well, you know.
I said it's probably in your purse. Because 9 times out of 10, when she loses something, that's where they end up.
Barry, do you even know what that is?
I don't know what half the stuff in her purse is.
But don't worry, Barry. I found it. It was in her purse. It was in her naughty purse.
Wow. I mean, thank God somebody found it, right?
I thought I found it under the couch. Turns out it was just an old piece of chewing gum.
I release you.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, mind control.
Tim decides in a moment of r/nice guys to actually tell Barry what the dinner is truly about.
We invited all of you here to make fun of you.
So you invite a bunch of incredibly talented people to dinner and you make fun of them?
No. It's a dinner for idiots.
Well, you better go find some idiots.
We do. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
This doesn't really help Barry out of his depression, because at that point he's kind of just like, well, that's another thing that Thurman will beat me at.
You can beat Thurman.
Luckily, his new best
You may
friend
say
comes
I'm a
up with
dreamer.
some words of encouragement and tells Barry how he can unlock his true potential and become Super Barry. With his newfound power, Barry goes into the dinner and just completely shits all over Thurman. I mean, 2 girls, 1 cup!
You have no secrets from me.
Au contrary, you have no secrets from me, Thurman. I know that after sex, you like to curl up in the fetal position. You cry like a little baby.
Martha told you.
No, she did not. I know that you take a magic marker and you draw a face on your penis.
Is that against the law? I don't think so.
And you put a little hat on it and you call it Sammy.
Nobody is supposed to know that.
And you sing to it.
You keep your mouth shut. It's not 100% true.
I know everything. I have laid eggs inside of your brain.
Get them out of my head.
You are no longer in control of me. I control you, and you are under my power. I know everything, Thurman. And I release you.
Thurman then gets blown away and he just gets so butthurt that he completely storms out of the dinner and everybody is just like, they're completely blown away by this entire scene that just happened. And honestly, if I was there, I would be too. Even though Barry outed himself for being the boogeyman while they got their boogie on, yeah, that was a bad joke. Barry pulled through. All in all, I do have to say that this movie started poorly but finished very, very strong. You do have some pretty funny moments throughout the film which give you a genuine laugh, but then the rest of the jokes or like humor that is thrown in there is either the script writers forcing humor or the actors trying to make an unfunny situation funny. Would I say that this movie deserves the ratings it has on IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes? Yeah, I'd say so. Throughout most of the film, I was just honestly sitting there cringing. I don't know if it's because the humor has aged very poorly within the decade that this movie has been out, but a lot of the jokes fall flat. The movie as a whole is enjoyable to watch if you're burnt out on your latest Netflix series or anime that you're watching, so I would recommend it, but I wouldn't go out of my way to like find it. That's going to do it for this video. Comment below with your thoughts on Dinner for Schmucks or any other film you'd like to see me review. If you're a fan of gaming, you can go over to find me on Twitch or go over to our second YouTube channel, Majin 2, where all of our past Twitch streams and gaming related content is posted. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn notifications on so you know each time a new movie review is made. And until next time, I love you guys. Be safe. See ya.